I'm Nick Davy. I'm a sophomore here at the University of Alabama. I'm currently training for 2 Ironmans. First Ironman 70.3 Texas, and then in the fall I'm training for Ironman Chattanooga. Why Ironman? Back in high school, I used to play basketball. It took a lot of my time and I really enjoyed it. And then coming into college, I knew I wanted an athletic endeavor. I didn't know what that was gonna be, whether it was gonna be lifting or running. So I decided to start running, started to enjoy it, did a half marathon, then a marathon. And then my dad did Ironman, so I got to talk to him, get to learn more about it. And then I decided, you know, why not? I'm gonna train for one. So I decided to do the half and then I'm gonna do the full. But that really started, I knew I needed an athletic endeavor and I knew I needed something to challenge myself. Of course I'm trying to complete these races, but I think most importantly, I'm just chasing the journey, just enjoying each and every day, enjoying the hard training sessions, enjoying the highs, the lows. But I think, you know, the race is just, you know, a blessing outside of it, but honestly just the growth from the journey is really what I'm chasing. The sport, definitely being mental and physical, they're both very important. I would say the physical aspect is just the platform for the mental. You can't not train for an Ironman and expect to finish. It's important to have that physical base, but I also think, you know, that physical base, if that's all you have, it's going to be a struggle. So your mentality is super important going to these races and being able to, you know, hop on a bike for 5 hours and being able to endure that. So I think both come hand in hand, but I think as you pursue the physical, that's where you build that mental strength and that mental resilience that'll carry you along in the races. Some of the past mistakes that I've made was, I remember definitely my first half marathon. I showed up in the morning, didn't have running shoes, no proper fueling, simply me and some tennis shoes going out to run 13.1 miles. And I remember being at mile 7 and I was just dead. I couldn't go anymore. My head was throbbing. It was really hot outside. My quads were shaking. Feet hurt because I didn't have running shoes. But I remember just thinking, like, take one step at a time, one step at a time. And then I remember my dad told me a strategy, just find one person and stay with them. So I ended up finding this one dude and just stayed on his hip. And he helped me get to the finish line. But I'll definitely never forget that feeling. It really sucked, but it was also good because I needed to be reminded of that. And you know, this sport, endurance sports are hard. It's about being able to persist over time. So there's definitely a lesson that I'll keep with me. For someone who's just, you know, doesn't have motivation, I think the quote, just like day one or one day, that's something I live by. A lot of times, you know, we'll get further in our life and there's something that we want to pursue. And so many people will decide to put it off and put it off. And you know, eventually it's so far that you just, you know, you forget about it. So I think it's important that, you know, you decide, okay, I'm gonna take actionable steps like right now, right here. And I think just little by little, like that'll change your life if you're willing to commit. For me, a big part of my life is the local church. And I think, you know, this season it's important that I don't put, you know, Ironman as my identity. This is simply just a hobby that I get to use to glorify God. So I think just using that as an opportunity to do that and to be able to, you know, go about it in that way and not make it the center of my life, but be able to use it as a way to, you know, share the gospel and to be able to be a light to others. And also just enjoying it, like enjoying the journey, enjoying the races. Ironman's eventually going to come to an end, but right now this season I get to enjoy it, so I'm going to make the most of it.